Ed, you gotta say hi to the subscribers.
Hi everybody, how are y'all?
This is Ed the neighbor.
Ed the neighbor. What did you guys just do?
Cooper hadn't done a burnout in his entire life.
Good Lord. Ed the neighbor, out of control, late at night,
Always.
on an illegal motorcycle.
Yeah, it's a Hayabusa, you know.
I almost popped a wheelie.
I know, I saw you being...
the hell out of it.
Let's hear it.
Not in the neighborhood. Yikes!
Wow!
Holy shit!
Man,
that was down to first gear.
She's pretty quick.
That wound out to almost $6 grand.
Woo! Not bad. You want to say hi to the subscribers again? Ed the neighbor?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ed the neighbor with the messed up hair.
Hell yeah.
And I'm just hanging out in the street. My hair's not combed.
Your hair always looks good, Ed. You got a name, Ed?
I got a name. I'm going to call it Neighbor.
Neighbor?
Neighbor.
Just neighbor.
Neighbor. It's a beautiful name. It means a lot of beautiful things.
I think that could...
Hell yeah, brother. You're on the Cleetus McFarland YouTube channel.
Good morning, ladies and gents. We have a special guest at the shop today. Let's go see who's here. How's it going, man? Welcome to the shop.
We're doing the thing.
Dude, you're already on video. Guys, this is Tavarish. If you don't know about his YouTube channel, he bought a cheap turbo Lamborghini, and today he's here to get it dynoed. Obviously, we've never had a Lambo in the shop. Well, Freddie here hit me up and said, know anyone that would tune Cyvex on a Lambo? And I was like, I don't even know what that is. I texted Jeremy. He's like,
is that even English?
Yeah, Jeremy's like, I'll give it a shot. So he brought his Lambo today. How much power are you thinking we might make?
Okay, I don't want to jinx myself here, but I think, according to the old owner, this made 1,000 to all four wheels.
Gosh.
But if we can make around there, I'll be happy. Listen, if this thing doesn't blow up on the dyno, I'll be happy. Hey, listen, if it blows up, then, you know, that's...
I like your attitude. You gotta have that attitude when you go to the dyno.
Yeah.
And guys, because this is Freddie's video and Freddie's car, I'm gonna leave all the detailed tuning stuff to your video, which should be posted by now. And I'm just gonna kind of get some action shots, you know, get this thing dyno and see how much power it makes here at the shop. We're excited to see what this Lambo can do. It's definitely our first Lambo. So I'm gonna do some work on the Vic with James, and we'll pick back up when the Lambo is getting ready to make its first pull. We're here with the Crown Vic. We have Leroy on the lift. We are changing his oil, so before we do anything, we gotta get him out of the way. I also wanted to mention that, you know, I'm wearing the Bartle Skeet shirt right now. As you guys know, we're giving away a Cool Boss this month to one lucky winner who buys a Bartle Skeet shirt or an I Run on Freedom shirt within the month of June. We ran out of stock in a bunch of sizes, but I'm happy to say that we just got them back in stock. So if you hit up the website after this video, all the shirts should be in stock and ready to rip. As for Project Neighbor, we're getting rolling today. We have a lot of stuff to do. Are we gonna get this thing running by the end of this video?
Goal is to dry fire by the end of the day.
Oh baby, guys, we're gonna have Project Neighbor running at the end of this video. So right now, James is actually taking the blower that we just put on back off. We've got to put our fuel rails on, and we just got our fuel injector clinic injectors in today. I gotta show you them. They are beautiful, and they're freaking 1,200 cc's a piece. So there should be plenty of fuel for this big bad GT500 engine. As far as fuel supply goes, I'm gonna show you some stuff we got for that. We're putting a fuel cell in the back today. We're gonna be running all the lines and stuff because we still are waiting on a couple sub harnesses to come in to get this thing running. The fuel cell we got is cool, but the fuel pumps we got, oh baby, they are so sick. So we're really hoping to have it running by the end of this video. We're hoping the sub harnesses come in. If not, at least we'll get a lot of progress done today. We got to get this thing moving. Oh, I also got to show them the drive shaft. Look at this big beautiful beast, guys. All right, so this puppy right here is 4 inches of aluminum, 62 inches and 1/4 inch long, 4 inches wide. All right, so right here, this looks to be the flange for our TR6060 transmission. That's what's gonna connect the tranny up to our new drive shaft. Here's the drive shaft itself. Oh yeah, looks pretty good. Got some parts in here that's gonna bolt up to our diff and some hardware. Hell yeah, I'm glad we got this today. Now keep in mind, Project Neighbor did not have a clutch beforehand. It was automatic. So one of the other things we'll be looking at today is our clutch pedal assembly. We do have one, but we gotta install it and figure out how we're gonna make it work. But for now, let's go check out our fuel system. So for starters, guys, we have this fuel cell. This is 20 gallons of Fury, and it even has a sending unit, so we have a fuel level sensor on the Holly dash. which, you know, is pretty freaking neat. All right, you guys see this? Bring him in, Cooper. That says Veyron pump. Now let me tell you a little something. This is what we're running in the Crown Vic, and this fuel pump is the same type and style of pump that is actually used in a Bugatti Veyron. And Holley Performance sells these. This fuel setup can actually support upwards of 2,000 horsepower. The reason we went with such a crazy fuel pump setup is because it's actually pretty reasonably priced, and it works perfect for our fuel cell. It bolts right to that 12-bolt flange. Now this thing is gonna let it rip tater chip. So if we ever wanna go up in power, fuel pump's not gonna be an issue, which is, it's nice to know. So this is the driver for our fuel pump system.
Dang.
I know, it's actually really serious.
Deutsch connectors.
So, she looks simple, but this fuel pump absolutely rips. It's just one small little pump. It's gonna sit in that fuel cell, but this thing can make so much power. And the cool thing about it, replacing the current lid on the freaking fuel cell, is it comes with this little filler hole and everything. I mean, it's a super simple, super easy setup. Someone was using their freaking head, so all we have to do is get some AN fittings, put them in these holes, run our fuel lines up to the fuel rails and back, and that is it. This plugs right into the driver. We give this thing power, and then we're done. That's it. That's all we have to do. It also comes with its own filters. I mean, that it has to be hands down the easiest way to do a fuel cell. I mean, that's, and for how much power we can make with this thing, we'll never ever max it out. And that's all for that, but literally guys, we have a Bugatti Veyron fuel pump in the Crown Vic. How sick is that? All right, so we've got 20 feet of both dash 10 and dash 8 fuel lines from Earl's in here. These here are mounting bars for that fuel cell over there. All right, so we've got the overkill fuel pump. Obviously, we need some overkill injectors.
Ooh, that blue box.
The blue box. So you guys know we run Fuel Injector Clinic injectors in Leroy, the CTSV. Check it out. 1200 cc's of Fury, and these will connect right up to our Holley Dominator system, plug right into our GT500 fuel rails. And then with our fuel injectors, we obviously get all of our Fuel Injector Clinic data that goes with them, so we plug some of this stuff into the Holley Dominator when we set it up, and then math, science, freedom, and magic goes together and the car runs. So guys, we have a super overkill fuel system. It's going to be plenty to power that Crown Vic, even if we go nitrous and all sorts of stuff, take this thing to 1,000 horsepower. But we have to go out there and put it all together, so let's head out there, see what James is doing, and get to freaking work. Alrighty, so while we were in there unboxing, James got the blower off. It's time to pop in these Fuel Injector Clinic injectors, and we will put on our fancy new fuel rails. Then we can put the blower back on and be done with that. We gotta get our fittings all set up for this too before we put the blower on, just while we have ease of access. So guys, the fuel rails fit perfectly. We're actually good to go. We didn't have to adjust the height of the injectors or anything. These babies are bolted down, tightened up, ready to roll, so we can put that blower back on, bolt it down, get it sealed up, start working from there. And the injectors, the harness should plug right in, so.
Yeah, this should plug right into this, and then some harness, the main harness for the Dominator system, and we'll have fuel.
Looking good. Tavarish and the Lambo, they're getting ready. You guys want to see some true satisfaction? And we're taking it back out. This is just a test fit. Look at this, look at this. Ready? How do they make it that easy?
Precision.
It's too simple. Boom. I have done too many fuel systems that are such a pain, and now the Crown Vic comes along and it's by far the easiest we've ever done. Hell yeah. So really we just gotta figure out what we're doing for our vents. We gotta block those off and we're done. There we go. Oh snap. Have you played with any of the idle stuff yet?
We just started to throw timing at her, just like controlling the timing.
Yeah, okay. Oh snap. Oh baby. looking like. Okay guys, so you can see Jeremy's half full a little bit earlier, made like 426 horsepower. He let out earlier than expected on that one, only made 423, but it was spark knocking. He's got to play around with some stuff. We might pull the plugs out, check them out, make sure all is good there, check the gap on them and whatnot.
Well, here's where you put in the red sauce, and down there is the spaghetti.
Is it strictly red sauce, or can you use whatever?
I mean, like vodka sauce or Alfredo. Either of them would work.
Mars, do you have Alfredo sauce in here, or is it?
I mean, there's some marinara in there. Yeah, I mean, there's some, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there was some chicken marinara stewing around, but who knows? It's all blanket now.
And then right here we have a V10 Meatball Hero.
Joke's on you, Tavares. You got to buy 10 spark plugs. So these plugs have seen a lot of like cold starts and stuff like that. The timing's barely in there, which Jeremy said it's really mild. It's definitely been fat, seen a lot of fuel, so we're gonna replace them. Time to do some rip and make some power. So guys, we got our injectors in. We pulled the blower off again. The injectors are in. The fuel rails are on, bolted in. We have our crossover for the back. We couldn't run our fuel system the way we really originally wanted to. We were gonna have a Y off here and then run 2 feed lines into the front of the rails, but because there's these coolant towers right here, you really can't put a hose end right into the end of the rails. So we picked up some of these billet 180s. Now these do restrict fuel flow quite a bit, but luckily we have a lot of fuel pump behind this system, so we should be just fine. So essentially how it's gonna work, and trust me, I'm not a fan of this, and I don't think James is either, but this is how it's gonna have to go. We're gonna run a feed line in, it's gonna hit this 180 right here, go back down the fuel rail, we put a crossover back here, comes back up this fuel rail, then down here and out to the fuel pressure regulator, then the return goes to the trunk tank. So while James works up here, I'm gonna go grab that trunk tank. Let's throw it in the back and see how it fits. Guys, no joke, mid-video, this guy brings us some Papa John's. What a legend.
Papa John's.
You work up the street, right?
I have the store up the street, but I actually work at the one up on US 19.
Hell yeah, dude. Praise Papa. What a legend. This guy. Man, we're gonna be eating good for lunch.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, guys, so I got the fuel pump all set up here so that the pump is just near the very bottom of the tank. We might eventually put a Holley fuel mat in this thing, but for now we just gotta send it like this. So right now I'm just gonna clock it a little bit the way we want it. So I gotta clean it, bolt it down, and we'll be ready to rip. Wow, barely fits. There's just such minimal room in these Crown Vic trunks.
Millimeters, man.
Yeah.
Millimeters.
That is a tight fit.
And then we'll put our 5-gallon intercooler.
Do you have this thing custom made for this? Fits so well.
Pretty much. Maybe we'll put it over here and then we'll put the water tank over here. It'll be good. It'll balance out. Looks good. Live action. Are you doing a poll? Okay. You've been working on it for a while. Okay. Oh, wow. Damn. Damn, dude. I came for the right pull. 571 on that one. Hey, boost spike, better than no boost. Guys, look, it started cranking there. So guys, we've been working on the Vic and they've been working at this thing for a while. Jeremy's been doing a lot of tuning on the idle and things like that, just drivability stuff. It's really been difficult, but they just made a pretty good pull. Unfortunately, the reason it made that much power is because of boost creep or a boost spike, he's saying. But 570 horsepower, you can't really beat that. And it sounded awesome. It sounded like it actually liked it. So that's good news. So guys, unfortunately, the Lambo had a few issues that need to be worked out over the next couple of weeks. And at that point, Jeremy will be able to tune this bad girl some more. We got a ton of stuff done on the Vic today, but time kind of flew by as we're working on this and the Vic. So we're gonna drop it off right here and pick up in the morning. And we're back. Welcome back, guys. We're still chugging along here on the old Crown Vic. To start things off, we did get that freaking stock balancer off. This thing is so beefy. It's actually kind of frightening that Ford put a balancer on a car that weighs this much. All right, throw her on there. Whoa, look at that, 23 pounds. Oh my gosh, and then the new one, we're talking 11 pounds. Okay, that's a big difference. So guys, our new balancer is back on, the belts are back on. We're done with all that. We did get our drive-by-wire harness in today, so we do have to install that. We have to make our own adapter to get that drive-by-wire harness to hook up to the Crown Vic's drive-by-wire throttle. You can see James is already pulling out some of our MSD coil on plug Daily whoppers here, forward live. Take the old ones out and hang on to them though in case we need backups. We'll put in these brand new ones. So nice, like you just push it in there and you're done. We've got our nice purdy Holley harness here for them. Just plug that right in. We do have to extend it just because of the plates we came through the firewall with the main harness, but I'll switch all those out, plug it in, and this side will be done, that side will be done. We just have to extend where it connects to the main harness just a little bit. Gotta say, they look pretty freaking good, and we do have those powered by SVT covers that originally came on this engine. Those will go back on there, but otherwise we just got some cranking away to do on this thing and get it ready for when we get that harness in the morning. Then we can fire this thing over. Up she goes. Time to get back underneath, neighbor. Obviously we got to run these fuel lines to the back where the fuel cell is going to be mounted up. We need some way to get our fuel from the back to the front. Also, while we have old neighbor up in the air, we're going to put that drive shaft in and see how it looks. Hey, go get Jeremy. Get him. Get him. Get him. Come on. Show him who's boss, Holly. Get him. Oh, get him. No, not defense mode, Holly. You got to attack. What is he doing? Is he attacking you? Ow. Ow. She's in savage mode. You need to get back to work. Get some shipping done. So the good news in regards to doing the fuel system is we have plenty of room behind this engine. We'll run these lines down underneath the car as clear and far away from the drive shaft as we can get them. James is pulling out the stock fuel lines right now because remember, we're ditching this stock fuel tank now and going with a fuel cell in the trunk. The last piece of the puzzle has arrived. What do you think it is, Holly? Think it's an injector harness? Sure hope it is. How's it looking? Give it the sniff down. Hell yeah, brother. This is what we needed. All right, guys. You know what this means. The freaking Crown Vic is getting fired up today. So guys, now that we're on day 3 of this freaking episode, we're dragging it on because I didn't want to put out another episode without starting up the Vic. Let's take a quick look underneath this thing and see where we're at. As you can see, the alternator is in. We've got a couple of oiling things that we're just finishing up today. We had to remote mount the freaking oil filter just because it wasn't fitting the way we wanted it to be. We got to extend this alternator wire and then that'll all be done. The whole front of the car will be done. We're actually not going to address the engine for the startup tonight. It won't have any coolant in it, but you can run the motor for a little bit still. You know, it's not great to run it for a while, but since we're just starting it up and hearing it real quick, we'll be okay for tonight. Unfortunately, our drive shaft does not fit correctly. It's not a length issue, it's actually a matter of the adapter that goes on here. The place we bought it from, they had a little machining error. They're trying to fix it. Hopefully we get the adapter that we need by the end of this week because quite frankly, we cannot drive this without the drive shaft in it. And without that adapter, we can't put the drive shaft in it. Back here, we did remove the other gas tank. Not gonna need that with the fuel cell sitting back here, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. Here's a quick shot of our fuel lines. You can see they ran all the way down here now and back into the trunk. Let me lower down the car and we'll go over a couple other things. Otherwise, we just have to wrap up a bunch of stuff. A couple little wiring things all over the car, like running wires to the fuel pumps, the sending unit for the fuel level sensor. Ton of little things we have to do that's gonna take up a lot of time today, but hopefully we will get this thing started up tonight. So as you guys can see up here, things are looking freaking great. We've got that coil harness, we've got that injector harness, everything's already plugged in, ready to rip. I was just working on some vacuum lines before I started to make this video. James is doing that extended alternator wire. We're gonna be ready to rip, guys. We gotta plug off a couple of these vacuum ports that we're not gonna be using. That one's gonna go to the brake booster. All this is really coming together. I'm so excited. So freaking pumped. One of the cool things about tonight too is we will have a live feed going while we try and start it. So we really have our fingers crossed that goes smoothly. We did have to use the starter off of the Crown Vic. The one that's on here was just a little bit too long. Just finishing things up, guys. This is so exciting. I'm gonna give you guys an update in about 2 hours when we wrap up a bunch of these little things. Guys, this is gonna be the first tune that I've ever tried to come up with to start a car completely on my own. Jeremy hasn't even gandered at it. We're probably gonna need his help, but I wanna see if we can get it started just ourselves, and then we'll ask him for help. Okay, so we just set neighbor on the ground for the first time and the headlights came on. And we just hooked up the battery. Oh, this is a scary moment. Have you put the key in it yet?
Keys in.
Keys in. All right, let's try. Should we try a window?
Let's try a window.
Oh, yes. Okay, so does that mean the body control module's working?
And we still got power windows.
No
so
way.
As planned, everything's still gonna operate
like normal.
OEM. AC's gonna work. Windows are gonna work.
Brake lights,
brake lights, headlights, taillights, turn signals.
Turn signal.
All your general functions.
Turn signal's working. Oh my god.
Everything's gonna work like it should. The only thing that's gonna be different is the motor's gonna be ran independently off of the.
Damn, dude, nice work. Hell yeah, guys, that is freaking huge news. It is working. This is awesome. So we know the body control module is working. So now we just got to finish hooking up the engine, try and fire this thing over and see what happens. Things are looking a little bit ghetto at the moment. So we got this little switch right here. This is just to key on the Holley Dominator, which is, you know, in here chilling. We ran the wires for the drive-by-wire cable through the window for now. None of this stuff is final. We're just trying to get this thing up and running so we can see where we're at as far as our systems and wiring and whatnot before we start, you know, finally cleaning things up and mounting it permanently. But check this out, guys. So I'm gonna give this thing its key on power, and then that will kick on the screen and the Dominator itself. Oh yeah, look at that, boys and girls. So obviously this doesn't have any data right now. The car is off and there's not even a tune on this thing, so I'm gonna flash a tune on right now. I've got a super basic tune going here, but this is set up for a freaking Ford engine. Look at this. What the hell is that? We are not used to that freaking firing order. So I'm gonna flash this onto there. At that point, when James is finished with the fuel pump wiring, we gotta add oil to the engine, obviously, and then it's ready to fire up. So excited, guys. I'm so excited. I really, like, at this moment, I wish Ed could be here, because this is probably one of the most exciting parts of any build. Like when you first fire it up, there's no better feeling than hearing it kick over and catch a brake and just light up. Oh, I love that. So we're gonna be doing it for Ed here in a little bit, man. Getting this thing fired over. Finally see Project Neighbor in all its glory, ripping with that 5.4. I wish we could drive it today. We can't drive it, but we can get it started. Hear the freedom. Jeremy, are you making things better?
Just doing little tweaks here.
Okay, thank you.
Just learning little bits here.
We appreciate that. So now Jeremy is touching it, but you know what? We're gonna send it. It's going down, guys. Give us a little bit, and I'm gonna pick up here in a minute, see where we're at. All right, so what tarnation? How'd you match that so perfectly?
I just assumed.
Wow.
I've done this before.
Oh my god, that was so weird. Well, guys, we have good news, we have bad news. Bad news is it's raining. Well, I guess I can go both ways. James has a gun. Really bad news is our gas pedal is not speaking to our throttle body correctly. So what's happening is the throttle is moving and it's showing on the computer that it's moving, but the throttle body blade is not opening and closing. We worked through a bunch of stuff. Last thing we're gonna try is just updating the computer and seeing if that works. We can still try and start it even if this doesn't work. And I guess we can delay the video, but I really kind of want to get it started tonight. So worst comes to worst, we'll stick something in there and hold the throttle body open and get this thing up and running.
Drive by finger.
Drive by finger. So I am gonna go grab some fuel. Is that the starter? Oh gosh. It's still a mess back here. Don't look at all that stuff. I'm gonna put some E90 in it. We're gonna put the oil in, and then we're gonna try and start it. We're gonna try. We're gonna see what we can do. How do you guys think this is gonna go?
It's gonna go great, but how do these Ford motors work? Do you fill both valve covers because the heads are that big?
No, it actually goes right in the intake on these.
Oh, okay.
You notice that they always have a lot of white smoke coming out of the back of them? Yeah. It's kind of a common Ford thing.
Oh, okay.
I think that's why. Either that or
I thought that was just a Coyote thing, the white smoke.
Yeah, I always thought it was a Ford thing, just oil pouring out of the exhaust, but I don't know, maybe we're doing it wrong. Guys, the firmware is updating, so we're not touching anything. Everybody has to speak really quietly. We told Holly not to bark.
Everybody whisper.
Yeah, we're all whispering. If we mess that up and we break that computer, we have to sell Holly. It's as simple as that.
Not the
Hopefully she goes to a good home. You know, she's been a great dog, but if that computer gets fried right now, sorry, Holly. I just scooped up 10 gallons of Ignite 90. I'm gonna pour it in there. Okay, guys, so right now what we're gonna do is prime the fuel pump, the whole fuel system. We think we have everything tightened down pretty good, but we're gonna flick it on real quick and see what happens. It's actually not very loud. What's it reading up there? 90.
90 psi.
Yeah, I think we should turn it down a little
Got
bit.
a little drip too on the fitting.
Okay, a little drip there. Let me check back yonder. You gotta go loosen. Oh, big leak. Oh, we got a leak. Yeah, we got a decent leak. Okay, there's a puddle. We gotta lift the car up, tighten down some fittings. That's usually a classic. Pretty much every time we do a fuel system, there's a little leak. Not bad though. All right, so we fixed the leak underneath, but damn, she was ripping.
That pump's got a lot of ass behind it. I mean, 100 psi through -10 feed lines.
It was ripping. So guys, the sun is going down. We haven't even gotten close to starting a live feed yet. We've been sweating, working, trying to figure out these bugs. We've had this crazy thing going on with the drive-by wire system because we're trying to use a Crown Vic pedal with a Coyote harness. I ordered a Coyote pedal, but it won't be here till tomorrow, and I want to get this video done so bad. What we actually figured out is that throwing this pedal is too much. So I put the drive-by wire settings so it's limited to only be able to open to 50% on the throttle body blade. So now I'm going wide open throttle on the throttle down there, and it can only go up to a value of 50% on the throttle position. Anything over that, for some reason, it like just upsets it. It says error for the TPS, and then the car just will not start. You want to show them how much it's opening? Where's that?
All right, give it a go.
Is it working?
No,
No?
nothing.
Reese.
Yeah, hold on.
Stand by.
Oh, we got movement.
Yep. All right, so that's full throttle.
Perfect.
Right. I don't want to mess with it. Let's just try and start it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hit it.
We got some noise.
All right, come on. Should I give it throttle or just...
It's opening a very little bit.
Come on. Think I need to pull fuel out? Oh,
So right once you...
okay. Come on, baby. Oh my gosh. All right. Think you need more fuel?
It's idling fine until you push the gas.
Yeah, but I should be able to get some RPM out of it.
Yeah, I think
more fuel.
I think more fuel.
A little bit more. Okay, so since we got the Crown Vic to fire over for just a little bit, didn't idle yet, we're ready to do the live feed. We've got to fire it up over here. Got a ton of people in here, which is awesome. 9.6 thousand people. That's so epic. We're about to try and get this thing rolling, get it idling, feeling good. So guys, we have no cooling on the car, but we do want to get it up and idling for a little bit. All right, here we go. I'm hitting it. I've got no TPS. Move it. Okay. All right. Hold on. All right. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh! Oh, okay. I got a little thought. Oh, that wasn't me. I didn't shut it off.
That was rowdy.
Come on, baby. Why won't you idle? I think what it did is it jumped out of the only part of the fuel map we were working on. And then it was like, no fuel. And this, because I've only been adjusting where we've been kind of idling.
Yeah.
Dude, it sounded sick though. Ooh.
It had a solid lower one.
Yeah. So guys, that was the first time we got the Crown Vic to rev up off of idle. And that's definitely the longest it's been running. So that's really exciting. The throttle body is actually working and it's not just shutting off or going into error mode. So that's good. The problem is once it got some RPM, the only part of the fuel map I haven't adjusted is above like idle RPM. So what happened is we had a good area around idle, and then it jumped out of there, and I think it ran out of fuel. So I'm gonna add a little bit more fuel. That's probably why it shut off right away, because everything else looked good. That felt good, man. That felt good. I gotta grab a charger for the computer, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna get this thing to run for at least, I think like 20 to 30 seconds will be all right with no cooling.
Yeah.
That should be fine.
Successful a minute, but
yeah,
we'll settle for 30 seconds at this point.
Damn, and we just hit 800,000 subs on the live feed. Guys, we are at 800,000. Shout out to all these people who came to the live feed. We just jumped over 800,000 subscribers, so thank you. But we still got to keep going on this thing. All right, let's go ahead and hit it. I gotta see where the idle sits.
Ready?
Yep. Come on! All right, let's try that. Go ahead. Oh, baby. All right, go again.
That's the longest runtime to date.
That was definitely the longest runtime to date. I know our problem though. That sounded good. Hold on. All right, go ahead. I'm not on the throttle. Oh. I know where it's at though. I can fix that.
Go ahead.
Second it gets aired.
Yeah, I get fuel.
Ready?
Yep. I know, you could see it already getting hot.
Dude, no way! Woo!
Yeah, it's steaming out.
Yeah. Holy crap, dude. Can you believe
that? Was
that?
good stuff.
All right, so we got it running, but obviously we had to shut it off because we have no cooling. It started steaming, getting a little hot. It sounds so lame when it's just like idling. I'm like, I just want to rev it. I want to rev it all the way to the limiter. Man, though, I'm so freaking pumped. Guys, the craziest part about all of this is that it's been 2 weeks and 2 days since we yanked the motor out of the Vic. And in that time, we've been able to swap a GT500 engine into this thing and get it running. I think it sounds a little weird with no manifolds, and I just want to rev it so bad. I can't wait till this has an exhaust, like sounds clean. Everything's wrapped up and it's just gonna look so good. I really think Ed would be proud, guys. You know, we bought this car as kind of a project to do with him, and you know, with him passing, it was crazy, but we had to go on with the project. We've made some insane progress in the last 2 weeks. Insane. I think he'd be proud. I wish he was here to hear this thing start up and to even, you know, freaking rip it next week. Project Neighbor is coming along beautifully, and that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching Do It For Dale. We will see you later. Also, thanks for 800,000 subs. This has been an awesome week.